be seated. Good morning. Our topic for the month, our theme for the month is effective workers. We'll talk a lot about that. But before I read the passage this morning, I would like the cast, the crew, and any faculty who are associated with the Christmas Carol live video play to stand up. So these students and the faculty associated with them are pictures of effective workers. I have been checking up on you for months, and the progress from Ms. Cordell is very good and encouraging. So I want to thank you. I'm excited to come tomorrow night. Those of you who do not have tickets yet, make sure you get them. But I already appreciate what you've done, and I'm looking forward to it. So now you may be seated. All right, effective workers. The reading this morning comes from Colossians. So it's Paul writing to the church, and it has words for us about what it means to be an effective worker. It says in Colossians 3:23-24, work willing and heartily at whatever you do, as though you're working for the Lord rather than for people. Remember that the Lord will give you an inheritance as your reward. The master you are serving is Christ. Paul in this passage is presenting two paths that we can choose from, regardless of whatever endeavor we're doing. Right? For you, right now, your work is your academic work, your art work, your athletic work. As a student, that's what you're focusing on. So you have two paths. You can live as you are, as for the Lord, or live for men. In the first instance, your primary goal is to gain approval of God. The second instance, your primary objective is to gain the approval of men, which I would tell you, with a few more years of experience than you, it's a bit of a slippery slope. So my challenge to you this morning from this passage is just to consider, who are you working for? What is it that motivates you to be your best and do your best? All right, we have junior presenters this morning. We only have two. We have one who's not well. I'm excited to hear from Julie Calloway from Shelbyville, Tennessee, and Cindy Davenport from Murfreesboro.
Hi everyone, my name is Julia Calloway. This is my third year at the Webb School, and for my junior project, I chose to create a script for a short film and make its trailer. Understanding why I chose this. I have always loved film, whether it was my dad taking me to go see all the Kung Fu Panda movies, my mom and I sitting in bed screaming at John Wick, or me and my grandma yearly laughing so hard that weekend at beers, I nearly peed on myself. It's memories like this that always had sentimental value to me, and I wanted to incorporate something like that into what I did for this. So I chose to make a short film, and I chose the genre of horror to be the basis. And one of the quotes from my favorite movie, Candyman, what is blood if not for shedding, can have a sentimental value and a metaphorical meaning for bleeding on a stage, which I aspire to do. So introductory to the process. So I basically had to plan and script out what I wanted to do, and then I had to film and edit the film. So planning. I had to cobble up my ideas, plan events, and finalize the script, which can be summarized into me drawing out ideas, plotting out ideas, getting ideas, and then writing out what I wanted to do. It's kind of hard to write a script when you only have about 4 lines of actual verbal speaking dialogue, so I chose to do more of a visual representative. So ideas and concepts that I kept from what I scripted out, I chose to focus on the struggles of womanhood and what that can kind of go through. It's body issues and the oxymoron of societal standards. And then I chose some literary devices like the butterfly for change and metamorphosis, and the apple for more of a biblical idea. And then I chose childish items and colors to help give more of a visual idea. So information I had to study, I had to study a lot. And I used information from art classes I've taken, and then I also watched synopsises to understand film better and understand what I needed to do Some of it involved visuals, other included getting ideas. So what did I need to film and why I needed a camera? I chose to use my iPhone just because it'd be easier for me to get film to and from, and editing programs. I chose to use CapCut. I'm familiar with it. It's free. It's easy. For rotoscoping, which is animation over top of film, I chose to use Procreate due to me already having it and being familiar with it. And then I just needed a tripod to film. So details while filming, I chose to focus on props to help give a visual idea. I chose to make them weird. It's all about having that surrealist, odd feeling. You don't typically see blue pineapples or green sludge or gummy bears with their heads cut off. And then for more subtle things that have more symbolic meaning, I chose an hourglass for fleeting time and maturity, and a globe that helps emphasize that butterfly, and a little eye thing for just that oddity. So difficulties and trials I faced while filming and rotoscoping. Film location, I had to work around people and animals, snakes, and detailing. I can't just tell them to go away and get off the field while I'm filming. Rotoscoping, I have history with animation, and I remembered why I did not like it. It was monotonous. And my own self, I had a lot of issues, whether it was costume failure or my own ambition. So triumphs and understanding, filming with friends. The tripod I was using was for a camera instead of an actual phone, so it ended up being hard to get angles, but I got friends and family to help me film, and it made the process a lot funnier because I had someone to laugh at the mistakes with. Helping with animation, I watched videos just to help, and finishing it was really rewarding. So the overall time through March to May, I would work on it about every other day, whether that was getting ideas on paper, editing and revising, planning. It was 24 hours for all the films that I watched and wrote down, and then 5 hours for understanding the contents with research. It was 10 hours of filming, and then re-filming, and then 12 hours of editing, rotoscoping, and then re-editing and rotoscoping from the last film. So 51 hours is the total time that it took for just the trailer contents, and it was really difficult to work through that when you're working a full-time job. And it's kind of hard to put in perspective when you're working a 8-hour shift about every day to go have time to film. My conclusions. My own ambition is crippling and healing. I wanted to do a whole short film originally and then make the trailer for it. But like I said, I worked full-time and I needed sleep to function, and I didn't have enough time to finish the short film, but I did finish the trailer. And am I going to finish it? Yes. I want to finish it because I'll get mad otherwise because I put so much work into it. So hold and pause. I do have a video to show you. I want to thank my mama and my dad for being my supporters, my amazing advisors, my grandparents, Mr. Finn, Mr. Stim, Mr. Smith, Mr. Davis, for Love and Logan, for being there and supporting me for everything. Sources, the song is Impromptu from the Toast Potato Orchestra, and this is the poster I made, and then this is the video. This is my 3rd year at Webb, and for my junior project, I grew a garden and preserved vegetables from it. The reasons why I wanted to do this project is, one, I've grown many gardens in the past with my family, but I've never gotten to play a huge role in that. So I wanted to be able to step up this year and improve my gardening. And also, one of my goals in life is to be completely dependent on a garden. So I chose to take this summer to just take the first step towards that. And because I was growing a garden, I needed to make a plan early on in the year, around March. And so I split my gardening up into two portions. And the first was to grow the garden and experiment with new plants. And the second was to can/freeze 3 of the plants I grew, which would be corn, green beans, and peas. And I had 4 steps to my process, which was to prepare the garden, get the seeds, and then plant them, keep the garden maintained, and harvest the produce, and then can/freeze the food for the winter. I would just need some basic gardening supplies, which I already have at home. And then I would need a place to grow the plants, which I was given 4 raised beds and then 1 large garden. And then I would need to purchase the seeds. This is what the raised beds looked like before I laid some black tarping over it and tilled it. And you can see in this picture, I'm laying the tarp down and then securing it with logs. And this is what it looks like after tilling it and putting the tarp over it. This is what the larger garden looks like. And it only took about 3 hours to do this whole process. For the second step, I wanted to branch out and buy new plants. So I used this magazine that I received in the mail, and basically just took an hour and a half to go through it and create a list of vegetables I wanted, which was like garlic, rhubarb, asparagus, Brussels sprouts, and some herbs. And when I received the plants around April, I decided to put them in these planters because they would need more time to grow, and it was too cold outside. So my neighbor lended me his greenhouse and taught me the importance of the greenhouse because you needed like a heating mat and to keep them out of the elements so that they could survive until I would plant them in the actual garden. The planting process is pretty simple. I just took about 30 minutes per plant. You just need to dig a hole about 1 inch deep, put the seed or the plant in it, and then keep it maintained by watering and then keeping it weeded, because if you don't keep it weeded, it'll choke out the plants and kill them. I went to Walmart and Cedar Hall and got more plants, which I got a variety of tomatoes, peas, broccoli, corn, and in total I got about 16 plants from seeds and then 8 plants that had already been started. This is the first sprouts to come up, which was corn, asparagus, and spinach. And unfortunately, I learned that asparagus actually takes 3 years before it actually produces anything for you to eat. So I would not be able to get any asparagus this year, but possibly next year. And some challenges I faced early on in the summer was my onions and garlic were destroyed because my dog, you can see in this picture, she laid in it and then dug up all the sprouts. So they weren't able to survive. And then I found out later that onions actually attract this bug, which kills everything in the raised bed with it. So I would need to, next year, put the onions by themselves and also probably in a fenced area. Another big challenge that really took up a large chunk of my whole summer was just weeding. And it's pretty challenging to keep the garden maintained just because weeds grow so fast. And also going on vacation, I had to leave for like a week at a time, and when I got back, it was just a lot of work. So I had to dedicate around 3 hours every week just to keep the weeds down. And right here you can see a picture of before weeding and then after. When it came time to move the Brussels sprouts and the herbs that I had grown in the greenhouse to the actual garden, I realized I had waited too long. And I think that was due to keeping the plants in the planters for too long. It stunted their growth and made them weak for when I actually put them in the garden, and so they didn't survive. And some things I would like to try again next year are garlic, onions, Brussels sprouts, and cauliflower. I was just able to figure out how to grow them better and keep them alive next year. And some things that I would actually change is I'm not going to grow rhubarb again just because it took up a lot of space and I didn't really get anything from it. And then I would like to grow lettuce tomatoes because once they started actually producing, I had so many I didn't know what to do with. And I would like to save herbs for like a later year when I actually master the basics of the basic plants first. On to the preserving part of my project. On the left, you can see all the peas that I got from the garden. On the right, you can see one of the 4 boxes that I got full of green beans. And for the peas, I basically did a process called blanching, where I would just take the peas out of the pod, then boil them for about 2 minutes, and lay them out to cool on this sheet, and then put them in a bag and just freeze them. And that process from picking them to freezing them took about 3.5 hours. For the green beans, I took about 4 hours to just pick them from the plant and then snap them into bite-sized pieces. But unfortunately, because of the family emergency, I was not able to can them myself like I wanted to. So I had to give them to my grandparents because they might rot too fast, and they got 42 jars from it. And for the corn, my mom helped me through this whole process, and I started with picking them, and then basically after taking all the shucks off, you can see in the middle they're completely cleaned off. And then she taught me how to get all the kernels off, and you can see that in this video. Basically, I take the sharp side of the knife and cut off all the tops of the kernels, and then take the dull side, and then just scrape all of the juice out of it. And then we mixed it with this mixture of salt and water, and then we put it in these bags, as you can see on the right. And I got about 18 quarts of corn. Other than what I would like to do next year, through learning, I learned that the growing garden is much more difficult than I expected at the beginning of the year. Although I knew that it would be hard and challenging, I just didn't know that it would take as much time out of my summer to do, which I spent about 60 hours in total on the project. And it taught me a great deal of discipline and just pushing myself to go outside and do the work and dedication, because you really have to dedicate time every day to go to and work in the garden, because you can't just decide to do it one week and not the other. In conclusion, I would say to try garden yourself, because it can teach you so many life lessons like dedication and discipline. And it is definitely a challenging process, but extremely rewarding, and such a joy to be able to bond with your family and friends over the garden and be able to share everything you get from it with them. And I would like to say thank you to everyone who helped me throughout this project, and all of you for listening.
Good morning, guys. So as we talked about earlier with the play, go watch the play. They've worked really hard for it. You can watch it starting on Thursday, and it will be showing through Sunday. So definitely go watch it if you have a chance. All the tickets for us are free. You just have to go. And then we're moving Winter Formal back to the Student Center. So that's going to be on December 2nd from 8 to 10, semi-formal dress code. It's going to be kind of like a warm Christmassy dance, so please go. And then this is from Ms. Jones, the Barton Gym, Honor Gym, and the Student Center will be closed tonight at 6 o'clock for the fall sports banquet. So if you were involved in fall athletics, go to the fall banquet tonight at 6. And then something else I have is that on Friday, if you were the Powder Puff winners, so that's the sophomore boys, the junior girls, and the senior girls, you will have a hot chocolate bar in the Student Center. And then any announcements on the board?
So we're really excited about Senior Laser Day this Friday. I need the seniors to take a look. I went ahead and put the program in your aisles there and double check everything. So we're printing the program today. So pass them along the aisle, make sure your names are all correct. Thanks.
Good morning, everyone. I just have 2 quick things. So first, happy belated birthday to Dr. Sullins. So secondly, I've been in contact with the Governor's School Director at Tennessee Governor's School for the Arts. This is open to all 10th and 11th graders, rising juniors and seniors. This summer, it will be held on June 8th through June 30th of 2024. There are 5 disciplines. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me or Anne Marie Florida, as well as the college counselors. The audition processes are really simple, and you have 3 weeks on the MTSU campus to learn all things about the discipline you choose. Thank you.
Any other announcements?
On Friday, freshmen need to report to on library during the senior later ceremony in the chapel. Thank you.
Great job. All right, let's rise. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, have a seat, except for seniors.
I said I'm gonna